Hello and welcome to the University of Hawaii at Hilo. UH-Hilo is located on the Big Island of Hawaii. Here, as we enter the Mo'okini Library, we will explore history that, although can be hard to talk about at times, should never be forgotten in hopes that it is never repeated. We are now entering the library on the way to the exhibition of the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The bombing was a tragic event that fell upon Japan during World War II. Because of Hawaii's close ties to Japan even before the war, we believe here in continuing to teach those who do not know the history or maybe have just forgotten. We believe in doing so will hopefully prevent future tragedies from falling upon anyone.
1945年8月、原爆は私たちの都市を瞬時に破壊しました。その年の終わりまでに20万人以上の貴重な命が奪われました。それ以来、なんとか生き残った人々は、核兵器特有の恐怖である放射線の壊滅的な後遺症に苦しんでいます。今日でも放射線の影響の全範囲はまだ解明されておらず、生存者は依然として恐怖の中で生きています。75年前の原爆投下の経験に基づいて、広島と長崎は核兵器廃絶を世界に懇願する絶望の深さから立ち上がった生存者の先導に従い続けてきました。多くの人々により、これまで核兵器の3回目の使用を阻止してきましたが、悲しいことに私たちの惑星は1万4000近くの核弾頭に悩まされており、人類は絶滅の危機に瀕しています。そんな中、私たちは希望の光を見つけました。2017年7月7日、核兵器を明示的に禁止する核兵器禁止条約が国連に参加する約 60% である122カ国によって採択され、可能な限り早い時期に発効させることを表明しています。市民と協力して、この展示会の都市は、犠牲者が残した所持品、写真パネル、その他、広島と長崎の空を黒くした巨大なキノコ雲の下で実際に起こったことを伝える資料を展示しています。これらの展示をご覧いただき、核兵器による多大な被害の現実に出会い、核兵器を絶対的な悪として理解していただくことを願っております。また、被害者の最も大切な願いをご理解いただければ幸いです。何よりも、核兵器のない世界で本物の永続的な平和に向けて私たちと一緒に働くようにあなたが刺激されることを願っています。広島市長松井和美、長崎市長田上富久。
Hiroshima and Nagasaki before the atomic bombings. Hiroshima. Founded as a castle town, Hiroshima has developed into a key transportation, economic, and distribution hub. By the beginning of the Showa period, 1926 through 1989, the city had become the political and economic center of the Chugoku region, with a population of 200,000. In addition, the city had many educational institutions and was one of the leading military cities in Japan. Below this photo are children playing in the Motsuyo River on the right, in the 1920s, and to the left of this is the Hondori shopping districts around 1935 in Hiroshima. Nagasaki. The port of Nagasaki was established in 1570 during the Edo period, 1603 through 1868. Japan restricted contact with foreign countries, but through the trade allowed with the Dutch and Chinese, Hiroshima and Nagasaki during the war. During the Second Sino-Japanese War, troops were sent to the battlefield from Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and send-offs could be seen throughout the cities. People's lives were completely dominated by the war. As it continued, everyday necessities became scarce, and people began to feel oppressed. In the photo below is an air raid drill in Hiroshima. Firefighting drills and other preparations for air raids were common around 1940. In the picture below is a soldier's ship out in Hiroshima. As fighting worsened, a number of men sent to the battlefield increased. Around the city, groups and families and neighbors could be seen waving flags in a grand send-off around 1937. In the picture to the right of this is soldiers carrying remains in Hiroshima. The remains of soldiers who had died on the battlefield arriving home around 1938. On the bottom left corner is a picture of a mass evacuation of Noboricho Elementary School students in Hiroshima. As part of an urban air defense, elementary school students from the 3rd to 6th grades were sent away from their families to live in groups at temples and other locations in countryside. On the bottom right corner is a picture of farm work by the Patriot Corps of Nagasaki City Commercial School. As food became scarce, crops were planted in schoolyards and tended by students around 1942 to 1943. The path to the atomic bombing. Decision to bomb without warning. With the approval of U.S. President Harry Truman, an interim committee was established in May 1945. At a meeting in June, the committee decided that the atomic bomb should be used against Japan on the war plant surrounded by workers' homes, and that is to be used without prior warning. Some of the scientists involved in developing the atomic bomb submitted a position paper asserting that the United States would prejudice the possibility of reaching the international agreements on the figure control of such weapons and oppose use of the bomb without warning. They requested a demonstration use. In the photo to the left are notes of the interim committee meeting on June 1st, 1945. Reasons for dropping the bomb. After spring 1945, Japan was in an extremely weak position. The United States was considering the following ways of ending the war. 1. Invade the Japanese mainland in November 1945. 2. Ask the Soviet Union to join the war against Japan. 3. Assure continuation of the Emperor system. Or 4. Use the atomic bomb. The United States believed that using the atomic bomb to end the war would restrict Soviet influence after the war and domestically justify the tremendous cost of development. The order to drop the atomic bomb was issued on July 25, 1945. To the left of this is the order to drop the atomic bomb on July 25, 1945. The first atomic bomb test. The Manhattan Project developed 2 atomic bombs using different fissile materials. One used uranium-235 and the other used plutonium-239. The complex design of the plutonium bomb required testing, and on July 16, 1945, the world's first detonation of nuclear device codenamed Trinity was successfully conducted over the desert near Alamogordo, New Mexico. The atomic bombing. Hiroshima. On August 2nd, an order was issued naming Hiroshima the primary target, with the date to be August 6th. The Enola Gay, a B-29, departed from Tinian Island around 1:45 a.m. on the 6th, carrying an atomic bomb nicknamed Little Boy. When weather reconnaissance reported that the weather in Hiroshima was favorable, Hiroshima's fate was sealed. To the left of this paragraph is the flight of the Enola Gay. Nagasaki. The bomber Boxcar left Tinian Island around 2:47 a.m. on August 9th, carrying a bomb named Fat Man. It reached its primary target, Kokura, around 9:50 a.m. Visibility was too poor, so it headed to an alternate target. Nagasaki was also under cloud cover, but a break in the clouds allowed the bomb to be dropped. In the picture to the left of this paragraph is the flight of Boxcar. The atomic bombing. The atomic bombing took place in Hiroshima on August 6, 1945 at 8:15 a.m. In Nagasaki, the bombing took place on August 9, 1945, 11:02 a.m. You can see the pictures of both of the bombs being dropped and the mushroom clouds expanding over the towns.
This is juzu, or melted rosary beads, the extreme heat of fire ignited by the atomic bomb melted these rosary beads. The owner of those leather boots was a second-year student at Soto Junior High School. He was exposed to the bomb at the building demolition site where he was working as a mobile student. He came home burned black. His eye had been burned and blinded. The skin was sagging from his arms, which remained protruding forward. His body was so swollen from the burns. His family had great difficulty taking off his boot. He died on August 9th.
With the intention that these tragedies never occur again, the United Nations Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons will enter into force on Friday, January 20th, 2021. This treaty prohibits countries from developing, testing, producing, acquiring, transferring, possessing, stockpiling, or threatening the use of nuclear weapons. However, nuclear weapon-holding countries including China, France, India, Israel, North Korea, Pakistan, Russia, the UK, and the United States, and non-nuclear holding countries like Japan have not yet signed it. The reasoning behind Japan's refusal to sign has to do with the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty and the America's protection of Japan under its nuclear umbrella. Japan believes that there is a different path to the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. For now, we will just have to wait and see where the history of the past and the present takes us in the future.